Okay, before we get started on today's video, I do have to say that the video that I put up was before I talked to F4. They have clarified some things. We think we figured out what is wrong with the things that you're about to see in the video. So we should be good to go. I've got to measure something for them to verify what we're all thinking and then get back to them. But by the end of this video, I'll know everything for sure and we'll clear things up. But for now, here's today's video. Good morning, everybody. It's time for another delicious edition of Texas Oatmeal. And today we're working on the Vanderhall, because of course. And we're gonna fix this windshield that is cracked. So, went on a trip last weekend to Arkansas. It was awesome. Except about 2 hours into my trip, the windshield cracked. Now, this is my stock Venice windshield. It is still glass, but they always crack right here where there's some extra stress at the top of this mount, somewhere just above or below or right around this area here. That happens. So everybody has had that issue. I say everybody, not everybody. A lot of people have had that issue, and the fix is in this box right here. So this box has a piece of plexiglass or plastic or polycarbonate or whatever type of material it is from F4 Customs. They make replacement windshields for the Vanderhall Venice and the new Carmel. I'm going to install that. They actually sent it to me really quick. It was here the day after, or the day of, the day we got back, or the day after we got back, something like that. We got it from Florida to Texas, ordered it Thursday, got it on Monday. Super fast. Those guys have hooked up a bunch of people, and now I'm gonna run their windshield too. It's kind of nice. I've been kind of waiting on this to break because so many of them break, so many of them have cracked, that it's kind of nice to be able to have the peace of mind to have a new windshield in there that won't crack as I'm driving around, because 2 hours into a 4-day trip of 1,250 miles, and I had to look through that crack the whole time. So that was fun. So anyways, we're going to install this. It's really quick. You just take out these 3 screws on both sides, lift this top bracket off, take your old window out, I don't know, throw it in the trash, smash it, whatever you feel like doing with it, and put the new one back in and reinstall the screws. There's a weather strip that they give you that goes at the bottom of it that helps the extra flex from the window, and then of course blocks any air that's getting underneath there, that's getting through to the passenger compartment. And I don't really, since I've never done this, I don't know if there's any kind of gasket material or anything to go in between the 2 pieces of aluminum here for the new F4 windshield, but we'll find that out as we install it. Okay, so like I said, first thing you do is break all these loose. I'm going to break them loose and then carefully, wow, I'm going to get my wrench in there, I swear. So I'm going to break all these loose first so that I can easily remove them. Once you break them loose, they're pretty loose. I mean, this material is all aluminum, so it holds those screws pretty well, and allows you to kind of unscrew them by hand once you break them loose. They shouldn't be in there super tight, and as far as I know, they're not supposed to have any thread lock or anything back there. So yeah. Okay, so if you still have a factory windshield, you should have this layer of rubber silicone or something. Sorry, the kids are riding their little scooter golf cart thing back and forth, interrupting my video. So yeah, if you have this, if you have the stock windshield, you're gonna have to take this and, you know, maybe score it or cut it along here to get the windshield out. Mine's actually being held in literally just by this silicone material. So I very gently pulled up on, after I cut this gasket material with the knife, I very gently pulled up on one end of the windshield to get it to come loose. Of course, the crack that was already in there got exponentially bigger because I was putting a lot of stress on the windshield, of course. But it did come up out of here. You can actually see this gasket material came off super clean out of here. It's hard to tell in this lighting, of course, because it's getting dark. I'm doing this kind of late in the day before we have a ride tomorrow. But this stuff came up pretty easy and peeled off of this aluminum just fine. So the F4 windshield, this is upside down right now, but it comes with a new gasket for the bottom, of course, and these little foam rubber strips that you're supposed to place on either side of it. So one side on the inside mount here, and one on the other side to sandwich the windshield in between this strip of foam so that it's not directly on the aluminum bracket. And I suggest cleaning this off with alcohol or something to make sure that that foam sticks to the bracket itself. So I'm taking the foam strips and placing them at the top corner, basically, of the bracket and working it down just a millimeter or so inside the edge, where just following this line on the bracket. And as I get down here to the corner, I'm just making the turn, trying not to fold the material over, but just make that settled turn at the end, just so I use the full strip. The instructions are not super clear on exactly how that goes. I didn't look this up to see if F4 has a YouTube tutorial, but that's what I'm going with. We'll see how that works out. I also did the same thing here, just followed this channel down along the outside edge of the strip here, just to make sure that it sticks. Now that I see this actually may be following the outside edge, where on the other one I followed the inside edge. I'm not sure which way that needs to go, because again, the directions don't really say that very clearly. So yeah, I may have done this wrong. I don't know. So they also give you this weather stripping that you're supposed to stick down. That's great, except when I place it on the left side of the screen, you can see it's too long here, so you have to cut it. So I think that's interesting that they don't even give you the proper length. But yeah, there's also no way to know exactly where it goes here. I'm gonna follow this line that's in the Venice molding for the hood and the cowl or whatever, and just see if that ends up being right. It should be pretty close, because that's mostly where, when you follow this line from this bracket to the other side, that should be where this goes. So that's what I'm going to follow. I'm just going to line it up with kind of the front of that so that it sits on this the majority of this as well. So we'll see how that goes. So they also recommend, well, they actually tell you have to loosen these two bolts so that this bracket can move. And after test fitting it, just real quick off camera, I noticed that if you don't have these loose, you cannot put the windshield on whatsoever, because their cut does not follow this exact same line that the bracket does. Their cut is off a little bit, and I'll show you that here in a second after I place the new windshield in here and get it lined up with where it needs to be. Okay, so placing the F4 windshield, when I originally went to set this in there, I thought for sure this was going to line up exactly right, but it doesn't. So I'm putting it in that corner first and pushing on that bracket so that it pushes over a little bit, and then forcing this one to where it needs to be. So when it's all said and done, you're kind of forcing it in this corner that I don't feel like is the right way to do it, but yeah, that's all we can do. So I'm going to put one of these brackets on and then show you how far off this is a little closer. Okay, so you can see I went ahead and threw that bracket on there, but you can see how far off this is. Now, I mean, these bolts are in the chassis where they need to go, and you know, there's a huge gap at the bottom and then super tight on top. which makes me wonder if that's the way the stock windshield gets bound up as well. Now the stock windshield followed this gap quite a bit better than this F4 windshield does. I mean, the F4 windshield's not even coming into the farthest corner of this bracket. So to me, this is not good. And then, you know, you're just kind of guessing where that strip goes. Yeah, mine's on there, but that's I guess okay. I don't know. It definitely doesn't seem like it's, this whole thing seems kind of off a little bit. Now that corner of the windshield needs to be pushed down in the bracket a little bit further because that's all real loose. I just wanted to put it in there and hold it so that I could show you this side, because the whole thing wants to pop out because these are putting pressure on the windshield. So this bracket is literally pushing on that windshield right there. So we'll see how long that lasts. I think they should maybe tell you to put foam between the bracket and the windshield on the edge, but it doesn't say so, so I'm not going to. I'm going to run it just the way they say to do it and see how long it lasts. Well, there you have it. Fingerprints and all from, you know, holding it while I was installing. So again, left these brackets loose so that you can get it all in there. Finger tight on these just to get it all set in place. And then I went back and tightened these a little bit. These pretty much, when they sink in, you know, the two pieces come together. So this just stops because it's a fully threaded piece. So you don't have to get super crazy with these. You know, tighten them in and give them just another little snug turn on these guys. I tightened these last once this was all set. Went ahead and tightened these back down and got them where they need to be. But this weather stripping is basically not even being touched here in the middle. Hopefully this heats up and these little wrinkles get out of it when it's sitting in the sun. I'm sure they will, but it's basically not doing anything in the middle as far as touching the window. So, you know, hey, I guess that's fine. It's not like I know if it's installed correctly because these are their instructions. So apply one piece of weather stripping to the hood of the Vanderhall Venice so that the weather stripping tap is flush with the bottom of the windshield. I don't really know what that means, and their picture is worthless. Like, what is this? Just black with a little bit of highlight? Like, I don't know what's going on there. Can you tell? I sure can't. That's the other picture of the windshield installed on your Vanderhall, but, you know, hey, again, what's going on there? You can't tell anything from these pictures. These are worthless. There's not like detailed instructions anywhere else. This is all you get outside of the warranty and how to care for your F4 windshield instructions. This is what you get. So anyways, that's how you install an F4 windshield on your Vanderhall Venice. I don't know anything about the Carmel, if it's probably very straightforward like that is too. It's probably the same on the Carmel, but on the Venice, that's what you get. Maybe it fits better on the Carmel, I don't know. But they need to tweak this a little bit more so that it fits a little bit better, at least in my opinion. And yeah, you can take that for what it's worth. So yeah, at least I have a new windshield that is not cracked, and we're going to take it out on a test drive tomorrow and see if we get a whole lot of vibration, flapping in the wind, anything like that. That I think this weather stripping is supposed to help, but like I say, it's not touching in the middle at all, so I don't know if that's going to do anything. But that's it. I'll give you another, I'm going to actually take this for a drive tomorrow before I edit and post this video anyways. So I'll let you know what I think about the driving experience behind the F4 here in just a few seconds. Okay, so I've had some time to drive the car now as well. So that whole video you just saw was one night before going out on the drive the next day. Driving that day, I noticed a couple things. The clarity of the windshield is pretty clear. I mean, it's really good. It's not as good as the glass. I like that it's not tinted whatsoever. I didn't get the tinted version of the F4, but it's not tinted whatsoever. Like, the glass has the natural kind of green tint to the glass. This is crystal clear. It has a little bit of distortion as you're looking through it, but it's not bad. There's neighbors on go-kart things. A four-wheeler. Every day. So it's not, so there's a little bit of distortion in the acrylic or the plastic or whatever it is. At first it bothered me. it eventually goes away. You don't even notice it after, I don't know, a little while just driving around in it. It's not bad at all. There is more flutter on the windshield itself, so you know these mounts don't come all the way up, so the windshield does this. It's really not that bad when you're driving around. It's maybe a little more than the stock windshield, but the stock windshield did this too, so I don't know that matters either. So I'm not gonna say that that's any fault to F4. That's just part of it, but it's there. It's noticeable. I might just be picky, and I'm hoping that it goes away, but it's never going to go away on this particular car because of the way the windshield mounts. So other than that, I feel like I think it's a great windshield. I love the idea that I don't have to ever think about this thing breaking. I'll never be on another driving down the road, going on some long multi-hour, multi-day ride, and that windshield cracking. That's just not going to happen anymore. So I'm going to get with them and talk to them about the width of it that you saw in the video, how mine is actually wider than the stock windshield. We confirmed that when I talked to some of the other guys in our group, in the North Texas group. We confirmed that it's 31 inches across on a stock windshield. This is 31.75, and that's because the new Vanderhalls 2020 and up, they're a little bit wider, and they make a wider windshield for those by that 3/4 of an inch or so. So that's why this one is what it is. This is probably a windshield for the newer model and not mine. I still have to get with F4 to confirm that 100%, but that's what it looks like it's going to be. So hey, simple mistake, not that big a deal. We've got one other guy in the group that has the same issue. His is the same width as mine, and we believe that it's just the same thing. You got a 2020 and up, where ours are 2018s. So we're gonna fix it. F4 is gonna take care of it. They wanted me to verify, because that's just something we're all learning, as these vehicles are not very old. So we're all kind of figuring this out as we go. They are gonna fix their instructions that are poorly photocopied. Talk to them about that. They're fixing that, and again, they're gonna take care of me on making sure that I've got the right windshield in here. So hey, props to F4 for I was able to just call them, talk to them, the main guy on the phone, talk to him, tell him what my concerns were. I actually talked to him about somebody else posting about their Carmel windshield and the concerns they had, and kind of talk through it. Super great guys there at F4. So overall, it's definitely a nice upgrade. It's the peace of mind is amazing to have, and hey, super pleased with it. And they didn't pay me for any of this. I didn't get a free windshield. I paid full price. My North Texas people know that, because I bought it while we were on that ride and just bit the bullet. I don't get any kind of discount. There's no reason for me to sugarcoat it. This one didn't fit. It's the wrong windshield. Their instructions suck, but they're gonna fix that. It's just a photocopy that they're gonna have to redo, and they're gonna take care of the fact that I've got a wider windshield than I'm supposed to have. So hey, that's all good in my book. So that's gonna end it for today. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
You must be blinded by the lights. We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night. We bring the vibes here. We full of life.